This is your radio salvation. Go, 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 go.
Discus Lariat!
The huge suplex!
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday night, coming to you live from the Go Live Vegas studios in Hot Vegas. You are watching Thoughts Count Anywhere. I am Aaron Phillips. At the dais, in the middle of the dais, is Mr. Scott Hosey. How are you, sir?
Doing fine. Whoa.
All the way across on the far right, Mr. Matt Mullen. How are you?
My ears kind of hurt now, but I'm
yes. And on the casting couch is Mr. Jason Piper, our bellman. How are you, sir?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Everybody's looking good tonight. I hope everybody out there is well. Let's take care of some quick business before we get into announcing our guests and what we got coming on. Scott, share our phone numbers, although our phone number will not be available during the first segment with our guests, but after that it will be. Let's give it to them anyway.
If you're local, dial 702-329-6947. And if you're outside the state of Nevada or international, it's 855-502-4321. And once again, 855-502-4321.
Major Tom. Anyway.
Too bad the shuttle didn't hear that today.
I know.
It's not a shuttle.
No, it's not.
It's a rocket.
Rocket.
Like Rocket Man? Okay.
Rocket Man. All right. People want to contact us through Twitter. What do they have to do live on the show?
You can use the hashtag ThoughtsCountAnywhere to have your tweet pop up on our show. And our @ thing is TCA702.
TCA702. There you go. So you can tweet us. It'll pop up live on screen. Of course, as always, we are monitoring the chat rooms, either in a watch party or the live video comments. All right. So let's set the table tonight before we get into our first segment. Joining us tonight is a returning guest because we felt more obliged to bring her back so people can see her. But in conjunction with our other guests, the original Royal Hawaiian from the original Glow champion, April Hahn, will be joining us. And with her will be the founder and director of an organization called Wrestling for Life, which is actually a 501c3 that's part of the Minnesota Wrestling Hall of Fame. Ms. Carol Castle will be joining us here shortly to talk about the organization, suicide prevention, and help, as it will coincide with the tragic news over this past weekend that Hana Kimura, as a result of cyberbullying, allegedly, nothing official still has come out, may have been suicide as a result from all of that. But we'll save all that discussion when the ladies come on shortly. Is that good?
Absolutely,
Sounds
sir.
good to me.
All right, let's ring the bell. I hear voices. Topic number one, real quick. Start us off, Matt.
With NXT going on tonight, rumor is this is going to be Matt Riddle's last match on NXT, and a imminent debut on the main roster is in his future. Which I could see him going to SmackDown and getting a pretty good run, but with the way NXT seems to go, like talents from NXT, it's either really hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope he doesn't take like the Finn Balor way, like you said.
And come back?
And yeah,
I like how they call it a third brand, but they all say going back to NXT. That tells you it's not a third brand. It's a third. It's the minor league.
True.
It's the grooming ground. And I like Matt. I honestly just think he is not ready for the main roster. I think he'll get buried up there. Doesn't have the charisma yet, the mic skills that I think Vince would look for. And I feel he'll probably be back in NXT, or he should stay there because our buddy is probably going to clean house and then move to the main roster, and then he could take over.
And with Matt Riddle's always getting into it with like Goldberg and Brock Lesnar,
It's not a good
with all
look.
the big names in that locker room, I don't know if I'd be running around with that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
Undertaker or somebody will,
Exactly.
or Roman will have to throw him in his place,
Especially
real
with
quick.
no shoes, you might get stepped on.
Yeah, really. I want to just cover one more topic because then I'd like to bring on one of our guests who's already in the holding pattern on
Sure.
video.
Okay.
And Carol should be calling here momentarily. So let's talk about WWE might be adding a new member to the Monday Night Messiah with Seth Rollins. A lot of speculation of who it might be. I've seen two names run out there. What do you guys think? Who do you think would be possibly added? He says a close friend of his. That was the terminology I saw today.
I couldn't see it being Roman or somebody to that effect, but I don't know if he's good friends with Ruby Riott, but a female would be like a good addition, and she isn't doing anything, and she's a good around talent, and
Okay.
have Seth speak for her because he's decent on the mic, but
Right.
Seth is in a whole nother league.
And that is one of the two names I read today that has been out there, but that's been floating for about a week or so. Scott?
I would say, if anybody, it's Ruby Riott.
Cesaro's name has come up, to be honest with you, as another possible name, only because they seem to be putting Cesaro in factions. They never seem to give him a chance to go on his own. The thing with Ruby that I read is that Vince has been sort of skeptical about putting a faction together with a woman in it, like not like they didn't do years ago, of course, but that
DX?
but that was years ago. That was a different era of wrestling. And is the women's division on Raw strong enough for there to be a female member of the Monday Night Messiah faction?
Why not? Give it a run.
Oh, well, listen, why not?
Don't know if you don't try.
I'd like Ruby Riott. I also like the new look Liv Morgan has been putting out on Twitter lately, but that's a whole nother story. Hey, by the way, if you want to catch us not only on Facebook, but of course you could be watching us right now on our YouTube channel, Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. That's out there. Check us out on Twitter, on the Go Live. Oh, no, we're on Twitter. Are we on our own Twitter channel?
Yeah.
There you go. Thoughts Count Anywhere. Twitter, Periscope, Instagram. And, of course, if you are on the move, since now things are loosening up and you can move around a little bit outside the house, be sure to download. Yeah, exactly. Be sure to download the Go Live Vegas mobile app. Now, I'm reading the board up there. Hashtag Thoughts Count Anywhere rather than the @ of TCA 702. You said hashtag TCA 702. It's hashtag Thoughts Count Anywhere if people want to message us. Our Twitter handle is TCA 702, right?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Did you?
Yeah.
Hashtag, all right.
I'm going to slide over this way.
I thought I heard it backwards. All right, whatever.
Can
Anyway,
you go below
hashtag Thoughts
the-
Count Anywhere. Send a message through Twitter. Send us a message through
Send us a
Twitterverse,
twit.
whatever you want, Tweeterverse. And we'll get it read. We'll see it anywhere. All right, without further ado, I would like to welcome our first guest. Yeah, I know it's only water in there. Believe. You know what? I'm still trying to recover from doing the Murph workout on Monday, honoring our veterans.
Whatever
But-
you do on the weekends, not my business.
I know. Well, it was Monday, so you know how it goes. Anyway, so let's welcome in our first guest. She is currently on video remote with us right now. One of the original Glow members, the Royal Hawaiian. What are you laughing now? What? What is he putting up there? Oh, please. Let's welcome in at the time, the original champ of Glow, Miss April Hom. How are you, Miss April? Come on in.
Aloha.
Hello, how are
Aloha.
you? Timing could not be better because I currently have Miss Carol calling in. Now calling in on the line, Miss Carol Castle. How are you, Carol?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
We are doing very well. Say hi to April. She's on video with us, but she can hear you.
Hi, April. How are you? I'm good. How are you?
Any way we can raise April's volume up at all? Okay, April, can you turn the volume up just a little bit on your end? So while we're getting that adjusted, of course, we all know April's history, but just real quickly, she was part of the original Glow program years ago. She's nicknamed the Royal Hawaiian, one of the, you never say former champ, right? Once you're a champ, you're always a champion. Right?
Absolutely.
So a champion of Glow, Miss April Hom, and of course, our other guest is actually a lady that I met for the first time last year at the Cauliflower Alley Club convention. Her name is Carol Castle. She founded the Minnesota Wrestling Hall of Fame, but 2 years ago, as a result of losing her son to suicide 2 years ago, he was a firefighter. She started a nonprofit organization to support suicide. At first, it was geared towards first responders, but now over the course of the 2 years, it's kind of opened up to support suicide help and prevention in general. So please welcome officially Carol to the show as well. We appreciate you guys taking time with us tonight.
Thank you so much. Great introduction.
Thank you. I read it just the way you wrote it, Carol, right?
Well, close. It's only been a year, my dear.
It's only been how long?
It's only been a year. When you met me,
Yes.
we went local.
Yes, 1 year. Yes, that's right. 1 year ago, but then your organization, though, has been in for 2 years, correct?
The organization, the Missile Wrestling Hall of Fame, has been around going on 6 years now.
Wow. Wow, great history for the Wrestling Hall of Fame. We'll get to all of that in a little bit, but tonight, I think we want to focus a little bit more on the sad news that broke late last week, going into the weekend, when Hana Kimura, who was 22 years old, it is believed as a result of cyberbullying, and she put a very chilling message out on her social media with her kitty cat, and the message that she put was sort of chilling about seeing you, maybe not seeing you tomorrow. I don't remember the exact words. It's alleged that it is possibly a result of being cyberbullied, and she, of course, was a TV star out there and a wrestling star. So this is why we felt it was important to bring this topic on at this time. So let me start with Carol. Carol, what was it about the situation with Hana that exemplifies what Wrestling for Life is all about?
Well, when I first started Wrestling for Life, it was aimed at veterans, first responders, police, fire, EMS, corrections. But with the Hall of Fame, I've gotten to know so many wrestlers, boxers, people in the MMA fighting industry, and they had a very high suicide rate. And I don't know if it's the performance industry that the suicide rate goes with, but they're very susceptible to the bullying. And when you promote online, people are keyboard warriors. And it is maybe the 1% or 2% that rise to the top, no matter how talented you are. And people, the best wrestlers, the best boxers, do take some of this criticism to heart. And I did something on her that she had showed some self-inflicted hurt to herself that night too, on her social media. It's just sad that people's opinions mean so much to wrestlers, but then again, they're the ones that buy the tickets and buy the merchandise.
Yeah, I see it all the time on Twitter.
Go ahead, April.
I just read an update online, and it did say that the show Terrence House on Netflix was canceled, and there may have been an altercation with one of the male cast members on the show as well with
Oh,
her.
wow.
So they did cancel the show. So it is now, I guess, under investigation and what have you. But besides the cyberbullying, I guess there
Right.
was some mention of an altercation with the cast member as well.
And there were stories that I read today in an article that came out, I guess, a day or two ago, that there were other stars of that show, along with, of course, the wrestlers out there in Japan, that were also getting cyberbullied, not just the on-set stuff, April, like you alluded to, but apparently the stars of that show were also targets of cyberbullying as well.
Yeah. So, and then it did also say something about Japan was going to be looking into legislature as far as doing something with the cyberbullying to kind of combat that and have anything further, as a result of the cyberbullying, that they're going to maybe institute a new law or something to that effect. So it's necessary, and it's too bad that she didn't have the resources or other friends to stick up for her or say something, or maybe get her to, a suicide line or some outside source for help, and it's too bad that we're having to talk about it today, but it's necessary.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation, especially for younger kids and or younger adults that don't have the experience or don't know how to handle it. That we really need as a society to take the time, explain to them to come talk to somebody for help. Somebody, like myself. I have a young daughter. Aaron has a daughter, and it doesn't have two.
Two. Don't shortchange me.
Okay, but it doesn't happen to just young ladies either. It happens to young males, and it needs to be taken serious across the nation because things like this happen, and it's an unfortunate situation. And if somebody can get to these kids and or adults too, there are adults that get especially elderly that get cyberbullied, and I've experienced that with a family member, and.
We just put a picture of the
Yes.
coin up, which I'm blessed to have received last year at the Cauliflower Alley Club convention. But this is the Carol. Talk about the coin that was established, the blue one with the flag in it, as to why that now depicts what is the new vision of Wrestling for Life, given everything now, please.
Well, first of all, that coin was designed particularly for athletes. And because of the Hall of Fame, we went with the wrestling theme. I love the fact that the flag is on representing in the ring. But the number on there for the behavioral helpline is Safe Call Now. And the neat thing about Safe Call Now, they will not only represent you providing services, referrals free of charge, but any member of your family. And this is nationwide in Canada, 24/7. And what impressed me was when I called, I've got 14 different suicide hotlines, and every single one was just a call center. Their next call could be for auto parts store or for a
Right.
store. One, I had the founder answer the phone, and he's a former police officer. When somebody calls, the first responder will pick up the phone. They sent a representative down to interview tons of wrestlers, tons of boxers, MMA fighters, promoters, anyone in the business at Cauliflower Alley that they could talk to. They did to find out what the stressors are, what the triggers are, what happens when they get down, what kind of things happen when they feeling at their worst, when they would need help, what kind of help would help them. They sent someone there for 2 days just to get feel for the people, how they could provide services, and that impressed me. And one neat story is we went live with the coins that Monday, the first day of Cauliflower Alley. They were in every gift bag, 1 coin per number. Within the first hour, we saved 2 lives.
Wow,
We had
really?
2
Incredible.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And it was someone who took a picture of the coin and sent it back to a loved one in their family to call the number.
I'm getting chills. I have goosebumps going up my back listening to that as to how that the support and need was instantaneous.
The fact that they get to talk to somebody, and that's the key. Talk to them right
Right.
away, because your life is worth more than that scum person on the other end of a keyboard and or telephone that is belittling you.
He or she is probably sitting at home with their feet up with a Subway sandwich or something in their mouth,
Absolutely.
chewing while they're trying to talk to
Have
you.
no better other thing to do with their life
Exactly.
than to harass young men, women, or elderly, or anyone in general.
Or
like-
it could be only within your work situation. It could be anywhere where
Right.
your stressors are from. One thing about Safe Call Now is they run the PTSD treatment centers that are for first responders only. So that helps the first responder community feel comfortable getting help.
April, I'm sorry, Carol, go ahead. Finish your thought. I apologize.
That's okay. I just wanted to say that's why I chose Safe Call Now, to make it comfortable for people to call 24/7. They're totally inclusive with the family. If your neighbor needed help and called, nobody would be turned away.
Excellent.
I have
Yes.
on Facebook seen somebody post something very dire, and I private messaged them the number. I've sent them a picture of the coin, and I've told them to call. I've reached out many times to many people. I it's we have a website, wrestlingforlife.org. They can be ordered there online. We have people that sponsor total departments. I've had we had an accident happen where two high school wrestlers were killed, and it was very sad. They would have gone to state, been state champions. We sponsored the whole high school wrestling team,
Wow.
but we have private sponsors that will sponsor the whole wrestling team or a whole fire department. We just had one today do a whole fire department, and there's a reduced rate for that, and that's kind of neat when you have that kind of civic pride and you want to take care of, a department, large or small.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think when you have that immediate impact on people, that's when I think it hits home more so. April, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What was your cause and what was your reason for you to provide such support, your notoriety, your ability to support this cause with Carol? Give me a little backstory as to why you're so heavily involved and supportive of this, other than it just being a great cause.
It is. Well, I met Carol, like yourself, at last year's Cauliflower Alley Club convention in Vegas. And she actually put me in touch with somebody who offered services to me for a family member. And I've dealt with mental health issues with family members my whole life. And Carol and I just started talking about it. And I believe it was Jeannie Hollywood that actually was talking to them and saying, I have somebody that might, be interested in talking with you. And then as a result, I talked to one of the counselors that was there at the convention for the 2 days, and they were even able to offer services at no charge. So that was something that was quite amazing, that because mental health services are very expensive, and a lot of the reason why people don't reach out for that is because they can't afford it. And this was someone who was able to say, if there's a need, we're available to help. If it's a financial situation, we are available to help. And so that's my connection on how Carol and I got involved with each other. And with Glow, we tour the country and we see kids, we see young adults, we see grown adults, we see seniors, and we have the ability to promote a good cause. And this is something that the Glow Girls, some of the Glow Girls will be sharing on their pages.
Absolutely.
And posting the websites and also having the information where they can purchase the coins. And if you want to sponsor the nonprofit, that would be wonderful. And if you wanted to buy a bulk of coins, and then, if you have a club or some kind of, entity that you would like to give them to your employees or your group and friends, it's for a great cause. And just with the recent thing with Hana, is just, so young, only 22 years old.
Right.
And in the wrestling industry. So I just think there we are. So, the Glow Girls are willing to help Carol and try to get the information out to the public.
And we know there's a huge following of Glow, no matter what era there is. Scott has a question for you. By the way, there's a picture of Carol with the mayor, Glenn Jacobs. Of course, many people know him as Kane or something or other like that. But anyway, go ahead, Scott.
Carol, I have an important question that I think all our listeners want to hear or at least understand. And what is, in your experience, the telltale signs? How do you see or hear or visualize a child, a young adult, or even an elderly member?
How you recognize the symptoms?
How do you recognize the symptoms so you
question.
can help that person get help?
Great question.
It depends on the age, but usually a change in the behavior.
So behavioral change is the big thing?
A change in their behavior, a change in their socialization. Age specific, their sets of symptoms. Every child is different.
Go ahead.
If they're very social, if they have a lot of friends, and then all of a sudden they're
Right.
at home a lot.
April, I think
Yeah.
April wanted to jump in with a point there as well. April?
Yeah, I was just going to say sometimes there is no symptom.
Oh, that's a
Sometimes
great point.
it's
That's
sometimes
true.
it is the person that you would not think has any problem. And those are the ones that end up being probably a little bit more serious. The ones that are a little bit more vocal, sometimes it's because they're letting you know there's a problem. And sometimes the ones that actually do follow through with it are ones that you don't ever hear any problem from. They don't reach out. They don't leave clues. They don't talk about, oh, I'm going to do something. Oh, I'm going to hurt myself. They're the ones that don't say anything. So if in doubt, ask.
There you go. It's a
Yeah.
great point. Scott?
And definitely, I'm not going to downplay any parenting or anything like that, but the engagement with your children or your elderly is very important, not only for school, but especially for this.
Right.
You know, you keep saying, share school and education with your children, but just things that happen in life. Let them understand that you've been down that road before,
Sure.
and that experience can help them.
Carol?
Well, what I wanted to say is that's why I designed the Life Point. I wanted it to be a lifeline for someone to keep in their pocket at all times. In case up to a crisis, whether you're in crisis, you can help. You can hand it to a friend. You can sit and make a phone call. The neat thing about this Life Point is the 206 number. It cannot be traced. 800 numbers can be subpoenaed. I don't know if people know that.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Encrypted. Yeah, it can be. If you call and somebody walks in the room when you're trying to call and make contact and hang up, nobody will call you back. It's encrypted. So it's a safe call for you to make. That's why it's called Safe Call Now. You can then replace the call when you're alone, and you can talk to somebody. Process through your thoughts. Make that phone call. Process through your thoughts. That's why, for juveniles, especially where I live, we've had so many youth suicides. Junior high and high school, we had 6 in our like 2 or 3 high schools in my district, which is a lot. And I'm just trying to get the message out. I'd like to design a youth coin that they would want to carry. Just call somebody. If not this number, call. But they don't want to be a bother, or they don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. Just maybe talk. Talk to somebody. It doesn't have to be somebody with the label. It could just be a friend or a friend's mom, or just
Carol,
talk to somebody.
Can you share with them the time that is spent getting to the caller? If you call the national hotline, there have been times when people have been on hold for numerous minutes. When you call this line, Carol.
Yeah, when you call a lot of these hotlines, they're not hotlines, they're call centers, where they're taking other calls and they're just putting your number down, and then they got to find somebody to take your call. When you call Safe Call Now, somebody's picking up the phone to talk to you. You're talking to a human being right away. Many of these suicide hotlines, they're just a second party or third party call center where they got to take your name and number, and somebody may be with you that day or later on that week.
I want to share, and that's a great point, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. We are kind of getting close to that time, but I want to share a couple of comments that have come in through our chat room. And by the way, I want to remind our listeners, right now our phone lines are not available because we have Carol on the phone line with us. So I want to encourage you, if you are watching on Facebook, put your message or question into the chat room, or send us a tweet using hashtag ThoughtsCountAnywhere. Your comment will come up live on the screen and we'll be able to share it accordingly. Some of the comments, though, that I've got in there, Thomas Burnett agrees with the comment that John Stagnari, which, by the way, April, John says hello to you specifically, just talking about how easy it is behind a keyboard to demean people because you're not a visual entity. You can't be seen, you're not face-to-face. Oyanka, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, April, that's why she says, that's why people need loudmouth friends that will speak up for you and give it right back to the cyberbullying jerks. Stephanie Browning says, you do amazing things, Carol. And she also says, pay close attention to your friends who always seem to be the clown or the life of the party seeking that attention. That's a great point, too.
That is
Thanks,
very
Stephanie.
true.
I have to go back to something I reshared today, guys, on Thoughts Count Anywhere's page was a quote, Robin Williams, of course, who took his life a couple of years back. And basically the comment was along the lines of, it's always the one who, like was said a few minutes ago, that you don't think that needs the help, that outwardly is funny and outwardly is always helping people. Generally, that's the person that needs the support the biggest sometimes.
Yeah.
And you lose sight of that. You lose sight of that. And everybody, I would dare say, has had one of those days where a depression-style mood kind of settles in, like a dark cloud. And, especially now, I hate to use the last 2 months as an example, but right now, I'm sure, like winter is a dark period where people's depression levels go high, that over the last couple of months being locked in, quarantined and everything else, I got to imagine people have been wanting to, go onto that dark side, dare I say, that having something like what Carol has and what April and the Glow ladies are going to be supporting has got to be taken advantage of. I cannot stress that enough, because you may think you're taking yourself out of harm's way, I guess, taking yourself out of the way of whatever's bothering you. But think about the family members and friends you would be leaving behind. You would be doing more damage to them than you are to yourself physically, because you think it's making it easier for you by taking your own life. And the damage and cause and hurt you do and everybody else is insurmountable. Carol, if you could please just give the website, phone numbers again, how people can get involved to support the cause.
They can get a hold of me, Carol Castle, on Facebook. My email is carolcastle32@gmail.com, or the website is wrestling4life.org. They're $18 a life point, and that includes priority mail shipping, and we ship every day. And that will help with life. And we do have a department price if you want to cover a whole department. We've had people do a whole EMS or a nursing station, and we have a special price for that, so you can contact me directly for that.
Oh, Yanka does mention in the chat room that you also need to pay attention to the way silent ones are also. I want to mention the $18 coin, the cost for the coin. In the Jewish religion, the number 18 is a very lucky number. And any multiples of 18, April knows what I'm talking about here. I see how she's shaking her head. That any multiples.
My Jewish sister.
There you go. That's right. Her sister. I forgot about that. So she knows this. Any multiples of 18 that you can do for people, you're wishing them that many more times good luck, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
But having the price tag on these coins of $18, from my perspective and April and her sister, you could not ask for a more symmetrical, roundabout way to support people by paying $18, which is the best number for luck, to buy these coins, and quite frankly, probably save somebody's life. Matt?
I was going to say, I'll pass this information along to the departments I know in Metro and the fire department, because I'm the director of security downtown, and I end up dealing with suicide a lot, actually, because we're the first ones to get the calls of the people on top of the buildings or on top of the parking garage, or a knife to their throat before, like, Metro or anybody else gets there. So we've had to go through training of this.
And preface for them what you do so they know what you're talking about.
I'm the director of security for Neonopolis on Fremont Street, which is kind of like a first response. I'm basically like first one there before like cops
Right.
get anywhere. So
Right on. Right on. Very important. And that's a great idea. As a matter of fact, I saw Rohit in the chat room earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So it's interesting that he's there. Scott, those closing thoughts, comments?
I'll do the same as Matt. Being a first responder myself, obviously I'll pass along the information to my coworkers in my real life and move forward, because definitely we need to help those people that are not necessarily asking for help.
I always tell people it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Exactly.
Wow. You know what? That's a great way to paraphrase that and kind of end this. Carol, God bless you for starting this. I think it's a worthy cause, and whatever we could do here at Thoughts Count Anywhere, please, please, please make sure that you reach out to me through April or whatever so that we can continue to promote this. My wife is an administrator in the school district, and it's probably something that I will need to sit down with her and make aware of as well. We talked about this a year ago, getting you on one of my shows, and here we are a year later. We finally were able to do it. unfortunately under a different cloud of reason, but we finally got it done, Carol.
Well, I sure appreciate your time and your talent, and I hope we can do this again.
You bet. You'll keep us up to date on events and stuff, and we'll make it happen again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carol. April, we'll pop you back on the screen there. What's going on in your world, real quickly, if there's anything you want to plug?
Well, you go on my page, April Hom on Facebook, Instagram, it's Royal Hawaiian 25. Twitter, it's glow_royal. I have an interview coming up on Friday that's out. Right now, we have recently done some glow interviews as recent as a couple weeks ago. Hollywood, Lightning, Godiva, Jungle Woman, a whole slew of glow girls. We have some wow girls as well, and a couple of the wrestlers. I'm managing Otto Von Kletch.
Yes, you are.
Yes, and he's been on a recent interview. You can go on to the Mike Rand Show on YouTube.
Right on.
And check out all the recent interviews. And as soon as this pandemic is over, we would love to get on the road again. And hopefully, if CAC is still on in September, then I'll be in Vegas. Hopefully, I plan to be in Vegas before September if this pandemic opens up. So we'll see.
All right, we'll make sure you're in town so that we can bring you on a Wednesday Night Live.
I will surely let you know, and thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it as always.
Thank you, April. We love you.
Yeah,
we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Aloha. All right, April Hom from Glow and Carol Castle from Wrestling for Life. Before we get back to our agenda, we're going to step aside for a quick 30-second timeout from Power Play Sports Collectibles in the Boulevard Mall. We'll be right back. For all your sports collectibles in Las Vegas, stop by Power Play Sports Collectibles in the Boulevard Mall. Power Play has a large selection of items from all your favorite teams, specializing in the Vegas Golden Knights, Las Vegas Raiders, and pro wrestling. Power Play Sports Collectibles has an online store if you prefer the online shopping experience, plus they ship worldwide. So if you're looking for that sports collectible for yourself or that special someone, check out Power Play Sports Collectibles online at www.powerplaysportscards.com or at the Boulevard Mall. All right, welcome back. Whew. The Thoughts Count Anywhere. I want to thank, again, April and Carol for coming on and talking about a topic that, of course, thank you, Thomas. He really loves the voice. Yeah, see, now you get down and pick that pen up.
I'm not getting down
and fix
anywhere.
the blue light while you're back there that I keep tripping over. Thomas really loves that voiceover guy. I'll have to send the message to him. But I did want to mention this. Facebook has been doing...
Buy his mug.
Has been, yeah, buy my mug for crying out loud. Has been doing closed captioning. And I think on today's show, that was very, very important that today's show is being closed captioned. At least on my feed, it's happening. So, well, you got the cheap version of Facebook over there. That's why he doesn't have it. But it's been happening on my feed. So it's a great message to be out there. Okay, so now our phone lines are open. I know someone was calling. I actually wrote down their number. Do I have a way of calling people back here, Aaron? Not yet. Oh, crap. Anyway, so that caller in the 414 area code, if you'd like to call back in and make your comment, we'll be certain to pass it along for you. Send us a tweet, hashtag Thoughts Count Anywhere. All right, where are we at? Where do we want to pick back up, gentlemen? It's your call.
WWE report.
All right, there you go. Take it away.
Nia Jax is back at it, injuring people.
Yeah.
Now she's injured Kairi Sane in a backstage fight.
Did somebody say that she wasn't worth signing and might as well get rid of her? Yeah, me. Sorry. Yeah, just Nia, give it up. You call people out. You're bullying people.
Yeah.
You seriously. She's calling other people out, but yet she's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, Vince, take a hint.
Ronda needs
Gone.
to come back sooner.
Is it possible that she doesn't realize her own strength? I'm just going to put that out there when she tosses these girls around that are about the size of her leg.
Yeah.
About what's that?
The size of a pea?
Yeah.
Should probably figure that out at some point.
You would think. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out
Part
there.
of the wrestling business is you are responsible for the person you are working with.
Right.
And that's like rule number one, and she can't get past that. So I'm really surprised with all her history with the relatives and the Samoans, who were great workers, that somebody hasn't pulled her aside to give her some hints.
You would think Tamina would say something to her.
Absolutely.
Or The Rock.
That too.
Or the Usos.
Or Roman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting. Somebody should take her aside without question.
They got a ring daily. Not like one of them can't throw her in there and be like, here, this is how you do it.
All right, next topic.
Apollo Crews wins the U.S. title on Raw.
It's about time.
Took him long enough to get pushed. I've been a fan of him since he was at UA Nation and like the Indies. I just wasted time with him for like 5 years. He was just nobody.
But I think it's a transition.
To whom?
To who?
Whoever comes back after everything opens back up?
Yep. Because everything's opening back up. I think it's a transition.
So here's your title run for just a split second.
Yeah. Sort of like Tommy Rich back in the 80s. Held the belt for all of 7 days.
702-329-6947 is our phone number locally, 855-502-4321 if you're outside the United States. And, of course, send us a tweet using hashtag #ThoughtsCountAnywhere. Drop your question into the chat room as well. Okay, next topic.
About the biggest lie I've heard on WWE.com. Rey Mysterio's retirement ceremony
And Terry Funk's going to retire at
on
the same
Raw.
time.
You can't mention like Seth Rollins like saying something about him and then saying, "Oh, he's retiring the next." Like
Swerve.
we all don't know what's happening.
Exactly. Swerve.
Backlash.
There
Rey
you go.
Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. You heard it her first.
And Dominic comes out to help him while the Messiah's got all of his buddies too.
You know, we talked about the I Hear Voices segment. Go back to that. I'll
Sure.
play off somebody else we know. Seth Rollins, Ruby Riott. How about Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio's son?
Dun 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 dun.
Wouldn't that be something?
Wow.
Slap in the face, get into the feud.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting
out there.
thought. Okay, next topic. Drew Gulak re-signs with WWE.
That's not surprising to me
No,
at
of course
all.
not.
It's
No
like,
surprise.
with him and Daniel Bryan like so close, it was maybe he got the raise he wanted, but I figured he was going to re-sign no matter what.
Yeah, I definitely think that was just short-lived anyway. Next topic.
Jason, you read number 2.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't want to give this.
Yeah.
We don't want to give this to Matt. He'll cry over.
Yes, exactly.
So, podcaster gets called out by Alexa Bliss for saying she is lazy in the ring, so she would be lazy in bed. Gets put on blast by most of the women in the WWE and other entities.
I.e., case in point, cyberbullying. First
Yes.
of all.
Absolutely, yeah.
People are so out of hand on the internet.
Yep.
The stuff I see on Twitter, I'm like, they say like to like the biggest names. Like I hear stuff to like Roman. I'm like, you would never ever think about saying something like that to his face.
Yeah, get out from behind your computer. Stop trolling. Stop, hiding. You're probably just you are an idiot out there if you do
Well, the
shit
guy's
like
got
that.
like 300,000 followers on YouTube, wherever he does his channel. But I replied back to her tweet about that.
Bet you gets no guest from WWE ever.
Sure. I replied back to her sending that out, and I simply said, first of all, whoever this guy is would wish and be lucky if he even was in bed with somebody like you to follow through on the comments that he made. I said, so this guy is like not even worth spending 2 cents on. Jason.
But it's like Alexa Bliss said, she goes, but you're going to be standing in line at Access to get my autograph and be a fan.
Right on.
Yeah.
They make a good point on that because you hear all these people talk as much crap as they can about the wrestlers, like Matt said, behind a computer.
Yep.
Go say that to Brock Lesnar. Say that to Roman Reigns. Say that to them to their face.
Exactly.
Even in person, I heard one of the guys. He's like, "Oh, if I ever saw Roman, I'd punch him in the face." I was
pay
like,
to see
"Oh,
that."
I know where to get him at. I'll take you over there. I want to see this." And he come up with every excuse on planet Earth not
Could
to
you
go.
imagine?
People
Yeah,
people need to get other hobbies
Yeah.
and grow up.
Thomas, by the way, our super fan, Thomas Burnett, agrees with you. Rumor has it that Dominic is going to be turning on Ray. So I don't know if
Thank you, Thomas.
There
Your
you
shirt.
go.
Make sure I got it for you. So thank you for you paid the bill right there. Thanks.
Wow, just what you get for getting a shirt is you got to freaking agree with the host, for Christ's
So all you have to do to get free stuff from Scott is to agree with you.
That didn't work.
sake. All right, next topic. Another returning star, Kurt Angle, as he was the third man in the ring in an NXT match tonight, correct?
Yep. Actually, he was the referee in the cage match, the main event of tonight's NXT. And actually, there was a few other referees in there. So, Kurt didn't have to be on his A game to be a referee. He was just the name. Interesting cage match. It had a catwalk around the top, which was unique.
Interesting. And I'm sure everybody went flying. Some people went flying off. I haven't seen the match yet, although we have it playing behind us here in the studio. All right, I think that does it for the WWE report. So let us move on to Impact and AEW.
I'll cover the Impact taping.
Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, take notes.
Impact.
Take notes.
This is closed caption too, right? It's gonna be real long.
Closed caption for the hearing impaired.
No Tessa equals nobody cares.
Okay, there you go.
Done.
Hope you took notes on that. Okay, AEW. Brian Cage wins basically the Money in the Bank style type match. He wins the big casino chip, right?
Nobody wants my opinion of Brian Cage.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Scott's favorite
Yeah.
wrestler.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He's forget it. I just, rude, obnoxious. Where do I
Don't
start?
sugarcoat it. Do
Yeah.
not
I was going to
sugarcoat
say,
it.
yeah, don't hold back.
Steroid induced. Hurts
do
people
it.
in the ring.
Send your comments
Yes,
to.
and I'm sorry. I'm not hiding behind a microphone.
No, absolutely.
I had to go to bat for him at Station Casinos, who basically almost threw my company out of there because of a roid rage.
Wow. Wow.
There it is.
All right. Jaded Scott Hosey now on Thoughts Counted.
I don't think we're going to get Brian Cage in.
No, that's okay.
I never
All right.
sent that email.
All right,
You
next
can
topic.
reach me at Aaron Phillips at
Yeah, right.
thoughtscotanywhere.com.
Aaron Phillips, bite me at gmail.com. All right, next topic. What's next on AEW?
Double or Nothing was Saturday. It was a pretty good show from what I saw. It was kind of cool to see the whole Jacksonville Stadium,
Having
with
more
the
fans
AEW
than-
logo.
The Jacksonville Jaguars do? Okay.
Wow.
It's kind of cool. They even had the end zone done in the elite and the inner circle. That stadium match went all over the stadium. It was pretty entertaining from what I saw.
I guess we're not going to be invited to that stadium anytime soon to do a show.
Sorry.
All
They
right.
won't be around much longer.
There you go.
That's an opinion.
That's all right. Hey, no
Opinions,
worries.
Opinions vary.
Opinions are like other things. Are
Right, that
everywhere.
everybody has, exactly. All right, next topic. Let's go to birthdays before we do pop culture. Scott?
What? Birthdays?
Birthdays. Sorry, didn't mean to throw you
Yeah,
off.
exactly. I had to go all the way down to the end of the page.
I know, pay attention.
Natalia, happy birthday.
Love Natalia.
And Eric Bischoff, Mr. I'm going to be rehired by WWE 5 times.
And I'll never work for them.
Yeah, and I'll never work for them again.
There you go. And coming up in the next week?
The guy that cost WWE more money than AEW, Seth freaking Rollins.
Took Becky Lynch out of.
I wonder if she's more mad. He cost their household $1 million.
I'm pretty sure they're well off.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure shirts and stuff will still be selling.
True.
Because
Actually, they have a new shirt out. It's
the mom.
the mom
The
instead
mom.
of the man.
Oh, that's great. They'll figure it out. They'll keep her relevant until she comes back in the ring.
Oh, absolutely.
So. All
Jake
right, who else?
Roberts, happy birthday to Jake the Snake.
Right on. Hornswoggle, he's going to have a short party for it.
Yep.
The Brian Kendrick.
Hey, don't social,
No, I'm not. I'm being honest, right? It's going to be a short party.
Had to go there.
Yeah, he had to.
Absolutely. Send your comments to Scott at...
Not as bad as the one I did today.
Don't even want to. Uh-oh.
There was a guy in front of Denny's that they wanted kicked out, and he had one leg. So I was walking up to him.
Oh, no.
I was like, "Please don't do it, Matt. Don't do it.
Not the IHOP
You're
joke.
more mature than this."
Not the
As soon as
IHOP.
I walked up to him, I was like, "Dude, IHOP's 3 blocks down."
Send your comments to
He was
Matt.
not very happy.
I would bet.
One half of the Raw tag teams, Montez Ford.
That's right. So he's got a birthday coming up. Are they ever going to get in the ring and wrestle the Raiders instead of golfing and miniature golfing and axe throwing? And,
Actually, it's kind of
Basketball.
funny, though. It is kind of
well, I
funny
know.
seeing it.
I mean, are they? But these guys were supposed. The Viking Raiders were supposed to come out and be these rough and tough, kick butt guys, and now they're playing badminton essentially. I mean, is it just me? You're looking
Seemed
at me like I'm off target.
This show is going downhill. I'm watching our listeners go.
Yeah, I
from-
know. Well, actually, my phone is frozen, so it's frozen at 200. So I don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, by the way, before we forget, we have a show to do at 8 a.m. this Saturday, don't we?
Sure.
You want to talk about it? It's your
Yeah.
show.
Nice segue. Oh,
First of all,
Sorry, I didn't mean to wake him up.
for all those in Las Vegas, welcome back.
Yes.
Because Friday, Power Play Sports Collectibles will be open at the Boulevard Mall.
Hallelujah.
And for the next 3 or 4 days after that, I'm going to run a 30% off all items in the store.
Now Jason go back to work.
Yeah,
and
Jason
get
can
out
go
of the
back to
house.
work. Matt can come by.
Come get your Karrion Kross and Tessa Blanchard autographs.
Absolutely. But yeah,
Hey,
we'll
I
be
got the shirt, man. My shirt came in.
exactly. But we'll be open 11 to 7. Lots of stores at the Boulevard Mall. Movie theater will be reopened too, along with Heads Up, and the aquarium's going to be reopened.
Well,
Nice.
I'll tell you what, Thomas just agreed with me. He says he hates those vignettes with the Raiders and Street Profits. You know what that means.
No shirt.
Awful.
No. I have an Aaron Phillips shirt that I can get to him, so I'll have to figure out a way to get because I don't have it with me to give it to you.
It's a white Hanes and
Oh,
your
wait a
magic
minute.
marker.
I'll bring it Saturday. Yeah, no, it's not a white. Listen, I spared
Hopefully you
every
washed it
expense.
first.
Of course not. It still has that new shirt smell. But I'll bring it with me on Saturday so you can take it to him.
Absolutely, but also
Thomas,
now-
large or extra large or medium
He's
or
extra
whatever?
large.
Oh, he's extra
I've
large.
already-
Hey, Aaron,
That's
we'll
right.
use it to clean the glass at the store.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, Thomas, you better get there early. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
And don't forget Saturday mornings, 8
You've
a.m.
taken this show off the rails, not me this week. This is you. I've been trying to stay focused because you've been on me, but now
Yeah,
it's
right.
you.
Okay,
You've kind of gone. So
wasn't that hard.
never is. That's what she said. Anyway,
Sponsored by Blue Chew. At us.
This show has gone
what
to
time is
bird.
our show on Saturday?
If our listeners are even going to listen, yes. 8 a.m. this Saturday morning, the Power Play Sports Collectibles. I don't like calling it a podcast.
No, show.
Show. Because we're visual. A lot of podcasts are just
Some
audio.
people probably wish we weren't visual. but-
Exactly. But so, 8 a.m. Saturday, Pacific Coast time, 11 East Coast time, here on the Go Live Network or all the other networks that he will say. Power Play Sports Collectibles show. And then don't forget, in Las Vegas, we are reopened. God bless everyone.
Absolutely. And before we forget, thank you to our first responders and medical people, personnel, and thank you to everybody who celebrated Memorial Day weekend. If you served past, present, future, serving families all around, we thank you all. Okay, what else do we have on the birthday? We have no nostalgia, so I guess it's time for pop culture.
We got the phenomenal AJ Styles and the guy that was in the main event, Timothy Thatcher. That just
Okay,
wrestled,
more birthdays. I apologize. I thought we covered them all, but all right. AJ and Timothy, who else?
And Velvet Sky.
And I see Lex Luger.
Yeah, him too.
He's not looking at recent pictures. He's not what he once
You
was.
would never.
You would never
yeah.
know, right? All right, so
Skinny
happy
Lex.
birthday to all you WWE personnel and performers out there. All right, pop culture, ring it again, because we only have about 5 minutes left. So take it away. Whoever
Joe
wants to
Rogan signed a contract with Spotify to solely hold his podcast there for $100 million.
Good Lord.
But he wasn't originally on Spotify.
He was on everything, but I
But
guess
Spotify.
Spotify is trying to go after like the big ones, and he's got the biggest podcast in America, so
I thought we did.
it's up there.
Okay.
Hey, Spotify, send us a message, will you, please?
Info at Thoughts Count Anywhere.
We'll take
I'll-
1% of that signing. I
Yeah,
think.
$1 million, you can get me off the air, and you'll never see me again.
Ditto.
Dun, dun, dun.
Start a collection. We'll take that up now, will you, please?
A GoFundMe account.
GoFundMe.
Exactly.
The funny thing is, it'll actually get up there probably.
We just hit 10,000 in the first day.
Yeah, right. Okay, next topic for pop culture. Pick one.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. premieres this week.
I can't wait. I love that show, and it's the last season, right?
Yep.
I'm
Kind of bummed it's the last season, but I can't wait for it to air.
Yeah, I
Looks
know.
good.
I love May, and I love what's her name? Thunder. What was her name? Daisy.
Oh, yeah, Thunder, I think.
Thunder? No, I don't think that's
No.
what it is. Rumble? Thunder? I don't know. But Daisy's her name.
Yeah.
Daisy's her name. But Phil Coulson is good. His reincarnations and stuff, he's terrific.
Now it's like
So-
a time traveling. like,
Yes,
thing.
and then they're bringing back the female agent.
Oh, it's Quake. Quake.
Quake. But the female agent that was with Steve Rogers in the
Agent
first,
Carter.
She's coming back too. I saw in
Yep.
some of the stills. So this will be a fun season for their farewell. All right, next topic. Derek
Stevens.
Go for it. Go.
Derek Stevens from the D offering free flights to Las Vegas.
I think it's 100 free flights he's giving away or something.
That's what he's,
Are there any How much? Oh, 1,000. Are there requirements or anything? What is he doing to pick those people? Any idea? I didn't see. I just saw the headline.
I just saw the headline.
Any
I'm
idea?
not sure. I'm sure it's some kind of raffle or something. I see him around like downtown, so if I see him, I'll try to get him
Yeah, get a
on
quick-
one of your other shows.
Well, just take your phone out, do a quick audio interview. We'll play it on here.
Isn't he the owner of the new property being built?
Yeah,
at Fremont?
Circa.
Circa.
Yeah, Circa.
If you ever see him at night, he'll just randomly throw you like a $50 chip.
We actually talked about Circa yesterday on Time to Vegas.
That's right.
Beautiful
I saw
hotel.
the show.
That thing has gone up so fast. It's insane.
I can't think of the last time that they built anything new down on Fremont Street. So this is going to be huge.
It's been forever.
I think the D, when it was remodeled,
Was the last one, right?
thing, yeah.
But this is huge to have a brand new property taking over that back end of Fremont Street there where Glitter Gulch used to be for anybody else who wants a landmark.
I've never been there.
Well, not only that.
Well,
that's-
not this century, maybe.
I had a nickname for
it's
it, but I
also
probably shouldn't
the-
say it on the air.
It's also the first hotel that was built where they didn't have to implode. The hotel that was there before was just taken down. It wasn't imploded.
That's right.
It was just rebuilt.
Right on. Right on.
Harmon
That's a good
Tower?
point.
Something like that.
It's going to be weird seeing like a Wynn-looking building in the middle of downtown.
I
With
miss
a-
the Mint. That's how old I am.
All right. So, but good stuff's happening down there. For those of you who are waking up under a rock, stage or phase 2, I should say, here in Nevada, particularly here in Las Vegas, technically starts Friday. Casinos will be opening back up, malls, movie theaters, stores, gyms, pools. I can't wait to hear what the ramifications.
Casinos
guidelines.
will slowly open starting
yeah,
the
they're-
4th.
yes.
Not this weekend, the 4th.
Not everyone is opening.
Right.
So every company has a schedule for which properties.
The only places that are not going to be open: nightclubs, strip clubs, brothels.
And yeah, that was it, right?
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
You can't social distance there.
You can't. Well, you could.
Which
but-
one?
Well,
6 inches.
under
man.
which
6 feet, not
category?
6 inches.
Matt, you had to go there.
Once again, for the record, ladies, it was not me that is driving this train off the rails this week. Okay?
This week.
I said that.
On a serious note, though, we're going into phase
Yes.
2, but everyone out there, if you believe it or not, or whatever your view is of this, put on a mask, spend the 10 seconds to do it. You might not be saving your life, but you might be saving somebody else's. Be courteous. If somebody asks you to give them some social distance, because that's what I've heard, is some people have asked for social distance and it starts a fight. Just respect each other. We're going to get through this no matter what, and let's just be positive and be courteous to one another.
Exactly.
Ditto.
Okay. Okay.
And then you
What he
laugh.
said. What he
Okay.
said. The only thing I would just change to that: just wear a mask if you're comfortable wearing a mask.
Absolutely.
But
I
you're
got
right.
pointy ears. I feel triggered every time I have to wear one of those because it just pops right off.
So
I
get
get
the ones
it, I
with the
get
tie-
it.
Get the ones with the ties.
Okay, Batman.
Why am I thinking of
Hey,
Evander
don't
Holyfield?
besmirch Batman like that.
I wonder how Vander Holyfield does wear a mask, though. Speaking of,
The ear has been repaired. He's got his ear back.
Or so we hear. So we hear.
Pop culture. I think you're going to go there with Tyson maybe fighting again, but not against Holyfield, but
I think
Tito
it's Tito
Ortiz.
Ortiz is like the last one to agree to.
and then
Why?
Tyson Fury threw up a challenge the other day.
Why? Why? Who wants to see that? Who wants to see that? That
do.
is.
We watched the Giants and Eli last year. Who wanted to see that?
I didn't. And I didn't watch a whole lot of games. I did, but who wants to see? I mean, yeah, he looked great on AEW, and the guy's 50. He
Oh.
looks great, but who wants to see? Wait, but you mentioned Holyfield. Why would you want to see two guys who are 50 years old go into the ring to battle the crap out of each
Okay,
other?
that's the same thing as
The sad part is there's nothing available right now for them to
people
watch.
talking about George Foreman. George Foreman was up there in age, and
and
he
I
knocked out
didn't-
Michael Moore.
Yeah, but that was Michael Moore. Come
and he
on.
was just your age.
He should be so lucky.
Yes.
How about the Golden Knights waking up randomly and being like, "Oh, by the way, you're Pacific
Yeah,
Division
exactly.
champion."
That's
There
a
we
great
go.
topic. Exactly.
Or Tyson going down and picking up the TNT title from Walmart kids area and taking it to the ring.
It's like they put a TNT over the 24/7.
They actually came out with the guy who designed it and came out. It's not done yet.
Then why bring
Then
Then
why
why
bring
bring
it
it?
out?
I'm reading the message that AA Ron put up there. Heard NHL will play for the Stanley Cup, but players can't cross borders. So,
Can't cross the borders.
like coming out of Canada and stuff. You're talking about?
Because after quarantine,
Oh, so they better get in here quickly.
what's going to happen?
Wow, that'll be.
Well, they're
that's an
talking
interesting
it not
point.
happening till July anyway.
Yeah.
Vegas will be the home for the Stanley Cup, just so you know.
Then we get the Stanley Cup Finals and nobody can go.
Well, the NFL announced the other day that they will not play games unless people are in the stands. They're committed to getting people in the stands to watch.
So how about
What
Las
time
Vegas?
somebody takes a stand?
Yeah, how about Las Vegas losing the NBA to Orlando?
Yeah.
Because they were supposed to do East-West, very similar to the NHL, and
Right.
Orlando was supposed to be the East, and
Yep.
Las Vegas supposed to be the West. But there was an owner that came out and said, "We don't want to be a petri dish." Guess what?
Along what you said about the things not opening back up, large venues with a lot of people expected was also not allowed.
Right.
So, i.e., your concert of Garth Brooks opening up at the end of August may
Don't
very
do-
much
don't
be
do
in
this to
jeopardy.
me.
It may very much
Don't-
be in jeopardy
don't-
unless Sisolak is found to not have corona himself.
Oh, you mean Mr. Shop at Walgreens without a mask?
Do as I say, not as,
As I do.
Unless,
Typical politician, B.
unless
Brian
we,
Blair. End of
I'm
story.
not, forget
Drop
it.
the
I'm
mic.
done. Have a great week, everybody. From Thoughts Count Anywhere. For Jason, for Matt, for I don't know who this guy is. We don't know him. I'm
The
Aaron.
feed's
Hosey.
coming out.
Aaron behind the board. Thank you, everybody. Be safe. We'll see you next time right here. Oh,
See you
Saturday morning,
Saturday,
8
8 a.m.
See ya. Bye.
ThoughtsCountAnywhere.com.